Alright, hey, what's going on, Freedomers? Me missioners. Alright, so we're gonna talk about in this quick session. This won't be on my IGTV. It's gonna be in my group, so you gotta catch the replay. So go to bit.ly/astrology. So all in caps, astrology membership. Member shit form. No. Button. Alright, so square when there's multiple ways aspects, which means in short the way they interact. The way they interact, the way the sign, planet, or house interacts, right? So the aspect are the way the sign, the house or the planet interact, right? So today we're talking about the sun and the moon. So the sun is basically what you want for your ego and your needs. Inner self. So modality, then you have to go to modalities. You have to go to modalities, which are the way they operate, or in the word of breaks down modalities is modus operandi. So you have cardinal, fixed, and mutable, right? So cardinal are Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Fixed is Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, Taurus. Mutable is Sag, Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, right? So like for instance, I'm having a meeting tomorrow with the Libra. So Libras are cardinal, and cardinal are the leaders, initiators, and initiator spirit. So she's an initiator of partnership, right? So their negative side is that the person procrastinates too much and don't finish what they start. In short, the fixed is very stubborn, fixated, unyielding, stick to their ideas, solid, right? They're solid. And these are the starters, right? The cardinal are the starters. That's the key word you want to focus on. These are the solid people. The fixed people are the solid people. The reason why they're fixed is they're looking for solidity, right? And the mutable is about flow, right? So mutable is flexible, impressionable, absorbent, and may reckless, may feel reckless, and has the desire to change under circumstances. So basically flow. They don't have no identity. They don't have no. They go with the time, right? So remember, to get a deeper understanding, go to bit.ly/astrology membership form, right? Button, excuse me, astrology membership button, right? So I have a Aries sun and a Capricorn moon. And these are the signs. This is a square, which means they have tension. So 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 um let me get deeper into this. So let me see. I just had a great article here that talked about okay. So signs that square each other. So let's give 3 examples here. Let's go to Aries Sun, Capricorn Moon, which is what I have, right? You can go with Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius Sun, Pisces Moon, and vice versa. And you can go with, let's say, Leo Sun, Taurus Moon, right? So because I have a square, which means that uh, which means that during squares we can work ourselves to tizzy vacillating between wild extremes. Squares are not a good time to make decisions. Let me see. So square, get a deeper understanding. So it just means basically, and how I would say it is, you have to know the conflict, get checks and balances. You have to learn to negotiate, and this is not even between others at times. This is just for yourself. God damn it, or with pros and cons. So let me save this article. All right, so for me, for instance, right, a person came back into my life because I'm a square Aries Sun, Capricorn Moon, right? So a person came back into my life that caused me pain, right? Because she actually squares me in some respect, because she has a Saturn Sun, and she is not, which is an Aquarius, and I'm a Aries Sun. So we conflict. So we're gonna need to weigh pros and cons. We conflict a lot. We need to have checks and balances. We need to negotiate. We need to have to weigh the pros and cons of our relationship, right? So she came back into my life, and I'm an Aries, so I'm a leader. like I said up here, I'm a cardinal sign. So I showed I'm a leader and I'm initiated. So when she came back to my life, that's exactly what I did by my ego, right? I did by my ego. And then by my moon being what I said here, what I want, what I need, my inner self, what I sit with my inner self right now, because I'm in closed, right now I'm in Starbucks right now, right? So I'm in closed doors, or I'm in private, right? So the fourth house is private spaces. And on top of that, I have Cancer in Pisces. So having Cancer in Pisces, but whenever I'm alone, is when my inner self starts talking, right? Um, because Pisces is isolation. Cancer is when it's at its home, right? So I'm in a Starbucks right now, right? So 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 a cardinal sign, ego wise, right? I initiated, jumped in. We're gonna help each other. Boop 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 boop. And then my Capricorn moon kicked in, and I said to myself that, yo, what are the? Because my friend told me, a friend associated with mine said, Earth sign moons look for things that are, or Earth sign moons. Well, I would say if you look at the modality, because you have Earth, fire, water, air. I didn't write that down, but these are things you need to look at as well. So being an Earth sign that is fixed, right? An Earth sign that is cardinal, but it's still Earth. So that means you're looking for things that are solid, right? So Earth looks for things that are solid, even if they're cardinal, right? So that means I'm a leader. I'm a earthy leader, but I'm a solid Earth cardinal. So so when I was looking at the solidity of our relationship, or I would even say you could replace solid with results, right? I started to contemplate and see I started looking down on our resume and say, yo, what what are I started looking in the past, right? Because that's the only way I can look at the results, the past. So I started saying, what's going on? I don't really want to deal with this person. And I started thinking about all the things she did to me in the past, or we done in the past. And I said, it's not really. I started to think to myself like, yo, I started to weigh the pros and the cons. Because remember, I'm a cardinal sign, right? So I need to weigh the pros and the cons. So I was like, the cons, when I was thinking, or checks and the balances. And that was my Aries self says, "Oh, we could do it. We just gonna be friends again, or we just want to go and act like nothing happened, right?" But then my Capricorn started being solidified and started saying, "I need something that's solid. I need something. It's because it's Earth, so I need something that's solid. I need something that's going to stand the test of time. Especially with Capricorn being the father of discipline, so I need something that's going to stand the test of time. I need something that's going to work. I need something that's going to keep going forward because my Aries sun is going to be like." We just go off a premonition because it's fire. So fire is gonna go off of spirit, right? And even if it's not my own spirit, so I'm gonna go into spirit and be like, I might even get into my Venus sign. That's a totally another lecture, but I'm going to my spirit and I'm be like, yo, we're gonna do it. Just gonna keep going and keep going and keep going. We're gonna ride to the wheel fall off. But my inner self is like, yo. I start looking at the details. I start looking at how solid it is. I start looking at how comfortable this makes me, how I can use this situation, and I'm realizing I can't. Right? Because I heard like a Capricorn once told me, they have nothing to offer because they don't have it. Right? And I have to think to myself as a moon and earth, I'm like, that's not solid. So that's gonna fuck with me emotionally because they're not solid. Right? So if I'm gonna keep them in my life, I gotta check the pros and cons. I gotta negotiate, and I gotta check the I gotta do it. I gotta negotiate the conflict. So I'm like, How do I handle them? I need to figure out how I handle them. Because if I'm gonna keep them in my life, I can't treat them a certain way because what I say to them, what I do, what I say to them, and what I actually do. Because the moon motivates the sun. There is with the subconscious, which is the moon, pushes all action to the sun. Because the consciousness doesn't go no further than what the subconscious tells it to do. So the real action, the real action, despite no matter what my ego says, my son, no matter what my ego says, will go no further than what the Capricorn says. So the Capricorn is always in charge of the Aries because the Capricorn would say, yo, that's not solid. We're not doing that. So that's why they kind of say your subconscious will hijack you and say, yo, you gotta consciously I gotta constantly do an Aryan action to convince the Capricorn, hey, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Unless the Capricorn starts to overrule and says, yo, we're not doing that no more. Stop that shit, right? Or in the Capricorn is gonna, even if you learn no relationship between Capricorn and Aries, Capricorn is gonna have like a drill sergeant to Aries telling him what to do, and be like, yo, we're not doing that no more. And kind of like even where the Capricorn may even tell the Aries what to do, but what like my friend said, the Aries and the Capricorn have a love of being soldiers, right? That's why Mars and Saturn respect each other because they're both soldiers, but similar causes of becoming better in many regards. But the Capricorn in me will start because the Capricorn wants order. That's one thing that Saturn is known for. Saturn is known for order. Mars is not. Mars is known for moving forward, but that doesn't mean it has to be in order. And that deeply bothers the Capricorn. So for me, when I see this relationship that just came back in my life, I'm like, in what order should I place this? Right? Should this be at the low end of my totem pole, which I'm gonna put it at because it places no order in my life. It makes me disheveled. So if I gotta put it as a priority to do things, I can't anymore because my moon emotionally says I need order. The Aries again is about moving forward, but I emotionally need order. And if it's not bringing me order, I'm not fucking with it. Especially in the order that because I'm an initiator. Remember, the cardinal is about initiation. So I initiate order. Whenever somebody meets me, they look for order. Whenever somebody looks for me, I'm the timekeeper. I'm the one who gives you the lessons. I'm the one if you want the truth, if you want the slow down, breaking down of how shit goes down. Like for instance, my friend called me a decoder. And Saturn is usually a decoder because it stands the test of time. So the only way to decode stuff is by time or language. Well, it's not really language, but that's more Mercury. But a decoder is someone who spends time, or gives you the lessons. Saturn breaks down the lessons. So, someone who really looks deep at perspective, right? So, let's say you're a Sag, Sun, Moon in Pisces. So, and also because this is I am. This is I am, and I use. So if I'm not, remember I said the moon motivates the sun. So if I'm not able to use it, I don't give a fuck what this person talking about. Well, let's say relationship came back to my life, or just with yourself, because like my friend said, you want to be able to master yourself, right? So you can master every other circumstance. So if I'm not able to use a situation or utilize a situation, I don't give a fuck what that person's saying. If it's not bringing me order, if it's not bringing me discipline, if it's not bringing me results, I don't give a fuck what the fuck they talking about. They could be talking about the greatest motherfucking shit in the world. because I'm an initiator. So I'm a leader. So I know I can go anywhere butt ass naked and come out like a lion, no matter how long that shit takes. As long as I don't procrastinate, right? And as long as I finish what I started, right? So um so so Sagittarius Sun, and I'm not getting deep into any of that right now because that's gonna be in my group. So uh so like I said, go to the link and go to this group because it's got all the deeper version. This is like the play version. It's gonna be in my group. I'm not getting too deep. I don't got time for 3 fucking hours fucking lecturing on this bitch. Anyway, even though it's 45 minutes. So Sagittarius Sun, Moon in Pisces. So this is I believe, and this is I see. So I have this placement as far as my sun. I'm just gonna be sun in the ninth house, and I have moon. I have my Venus in Pisces, right? But we're not talking about that right now. So if your sun says I see, and if your moon says I believe, you could talk to the because when you have a square, you have to be very mindful of emotions, of the emotional side, which means that your sun is upward, square is I like that. Oh shit, that's good. Oh goddamn, I just caught that in my life. Oh shit. That's deep. That's deep. So square is when something's at a 90. Is when 90 when the sign's square is blah, blah. When you square something, that means the signs are at a 90-degree angle. So the car when like I said, like I told my friend like one of my friends told me, the square is a person with a square is like the one side of them is coming from here, one side of them is coming from here. They're gonna be pulled in 2 different directions, or but like say their point is here, or their point is here that they want to achieve or whatever. They want to have a common understanding. The point is here, so one car is gonna be coming from over here, one car is gonna be coming over here. It's gonna be very unexpected. And because if one of them doesn't make a turn, they're gonna crash into each other and create collision, right? So when you're Sagittarius Sun and Pisces Moon, if you don't believe in it, meaning if it's coming from over, if this is belief, this is seed. So if you don't believe in it, you'll go in this direct. You'll emotionally go here, and if you don't, if you don't find a way to compromise and be on the same page, you'll uh, you'll emotionally go over here. You'll egoically, or you'll from who you think you are, or your sense of self will go over here. So it'll be like 2 different situations like splitting all the time until you compromise and go in a 90-degree direction until you find a way to go here. One will be here, one will be here, right? So usually if it's this Sagittarius Sun, Pisces Moon, if you don't have it, because it's water now and fire. So that's deep. That's deep. That's deep. So one can put out the other. So if you emotionally feel like if you know how to ground yourself as a Pisces, if you having a hot-headed moment, you can calm yourself down. Or if you're too hot-headed about a situation, you can put out your whatever you're feeling emotionally, or amplify what's going on emotionally and dry out all this water. It turns into complete air or gas, and completely evaporate all that's going on here. So you got to be careful if you put out your motivation or what you see, or you flame up what you believe, right? With oil and etc. right? Leo Sun Taurus Moon. So Leo is the sun, and Leo and Taurus is earth possessions, right? So when you have this conflict here, you have earth and you have fire. So depending on remember I said it's a 90-degree angle. So depending on what you feel and who you say you are, you may see yourself a certain way, but you don't possess a certain thing. Because Taurus possessions or income. So this combination, you may be full of yourself, but you don't actually possess all the things that you say you're full of. So if you don't balance this out, you won't be materializing. You won't be materializing what your ego thinks you are. So your head may be too big for your body per se. So I'm a double decoder. Actually, yes, you're a double decoder. So so yeah, so because actually I didn't. I thought she was saying that, but because that person on the live has a Saturn Sun, Capricorn Moon, Capricorn Sun, sorry, Aquarius Moon. So the reason I say Saturn can be a great decoder because again, to decode stuff sometimes it takes a lot of time. So or it's one of the very aspects of decoding things: time, patience, etc., etc. With analytics, paying attention to the detail, like to crack the code of success, you have to give it time. You get what I'm saying? To crack the code of success, you have to give it time. That's what they say. You'll be patient because you're not gonna become a success overnight. You feel me? So with this, you may what creates the conflict is that you don't see you don't possess what the vision of the Leo. You don't possess that that light of the Leo. So in other words, you may have a lot of creative talents because fifth house is called, it rules creativity, but you don't have the money right now, right? That may be actually the conflict of this sign, where you feel like, oh, I got a whole bunch of thoughts and ideas and all these fancy big Leo big Leo functionality, but you ain't got no money. You feel like I'm gonna go make it on my own. I'm gonna go get me a job. I'm not gonna get me a job. I'm gonna better my talents. I'm gonna better my gifts. I'm gonna better my abilities. And the compromise with this is if you don't find solidity, if you don't commit to the love of self, because towards saying, Taurus is I have. Leo is the ego, the sense of self. So you have to believe in what you possess, and sometimes from an ethereal or spiritual perspective, your own imagination, your own vision, you have to believe in yourself for this to work. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in who you are, your ego, if you don't believe in you can change your ego. Because the thing is about this is that these signs are both these signs are both fixed. These signs, Leo and Taurus, these signs are both fixed. So because these signs are both fixed here, you can be so fixated on an idea or who you think you are that you don't move not a motherfucking way. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be very careful when you have this Leo Taurus moon identity, because if you fixated, especially with the way your moon and Taurus is set up, if you fixated emotionally about your possessions, who you think you are, you won't progress. And anything, or not even just about, it's not even talking about money, but just in anything. If you fixate on emotionally on something that is not healthy, you'll fuck your whole fucking life up. Now, Sag Sun. So I think that was a spirit. I definitely was not talking about this, but yeah. But anyway, but even with this Sag Sun, Moon in Pisces. So these people tend to be very flighty, though, both of them, because even though they're both mutable, so they do what they feel, or they go with the flow a lot. But sometimes going with the flow means that they lack discipline, and they have to have genuine people around them, because you're very impressionable. And uh, if you lack discernment, you'll think that, these are the type of people where they feel people out a lot. And that's someone, I actually had a friend had this placement, and you have to feel them out. You have to feel people out, situations out, and if your energy not good enough, if your energy not strong enough, with that placement, with the moon in Pisces, you'll make a very emotional decision that fucks you up, because because water is emotion, right? So you'll make a very Piscean emotion, because you have somebody make you believe something that's not real. So if you don't have your own beliefs, if you don't have your own, especially Pisces being the most spiritual side in the zodiac, if you don't have your own real emotional beliefs, and you only believe what's been impressed upon you, that could be a huge problem as you grow as an adult. Or if you go too much based on what you see, that could be a problem, because you drag yourself emotionally into shit that you don't really believe in, right? Or you don't really believe this person really fucks with you, or they should really get you money, etc., etc. This, again, the Leo, you may jump into shit that has no real solidity. You may jump into shit that can this earth. So it needs to be, and they're both fixed. So they need something that's gonna bring them solidity, that's gonna make the shit solid, shit that's gonna make sense. So you may do that Leo shit where you be mad impulsive as fuck. But the problem is that you may do something that only excites you, or you may only do things that keep your bank account at a certain level and a certain understanding. And you may not do what truly ignites you. And I say on purpose. You may not do, because a Taurus may be so ruled by money, or you may want to get money so much that you forget the things that excite you, that make you feel alive, like the sun. Because the sun makes things feel alive. You feel what I'm saying? So if you're not doing things that make you feel alive, then all you're gonna be doing is by your mundane, or by your five senses. Because that's one of the things that especially Taurus are known for. They're only known to do things that that rule by their five senses. So that's square in the sun. But the reason why it's able to change your life, because, like I said, like my friend told me, he said you have to be very mindful of how this person feels, and not just judge them by what they say they're gonna do. So, because your ego will say a lot of things in a moment, but when you sit with yourself and you at home behind closed doors, that's what they call home behind closed doors. You may feel something totally different. You may think something totally different, because these signs square. If you're really not on the same page, it may kick in. If you don't have a certain emotional awareness, it may not kick in immediately. like mines don't, because I lack emotional intelligence. I'm honest about that. It doesn't always kick, like mine kicks in delay. It kicks in way after I make an Aries decision, and I do it, right. So you have to really be able to have emotional discernment, especially when your moon sign is in water, and let's say it's in the opposite sign, like Virgo. No, I wouldn't say Virgo. That's opposition. I would say, let me see, like it's in, let's say, Gemini, right? Or you make a very, let's say, uh, hmm, let's pick a water sign. So let's say Cancer. So let's say Cancer, right? Because these are the signs that square each other. Let's just say it's Cancer. You make a very Aryan decision where that's great actually. You make a very Aryan decision, Cancer, right? You're a Cancer moon and you're an Aries sun. You make a very Aries decision. You jump in right now, this minute, this second, this hour, this very minute, right? And then when you feel it out, and then your intuition tells you, yo, that was the wrong move, bro. And you gotta stick with it because you bought the shit already or whatever, right? Or you gotta deal with this person because you signed the deal. You know what I'm saying? Or in the moment, if you're not emotionally aware, it may not come to you in that very moment. Yo, this is wrong, right? This is wrong. Don't do this. Or you may hear that voice and not do it because your ego, Aries, you want to say, I just want this money. Or you get extremely excited and you want to be in positions of power. You want to dominate, and you forget all this shit because you're not listening to your emotions. You feel me? But to get more, like I said, to get deeper into this, before I go on, you bit.ly/astrology membership forum, and this is in caps, this is in lowercase, but bit.ly/astrology membership forum to to and book your monthly membership to learn more. Peace. This live will also be in that group.